Good. Let's welcome you everyone to another installment of Exploring Consciousness. And today we're going to play with Thanksgiving, giving thanks. Obviously, we've got the Americans having the 25th coming up tomorrow, Thanksgiving Day. And so we're just going to play a little bit with gratitude and what can be grateful for, especially over the last, I would say, well, when this whole year has started, right? What kind of gratitude do we have for all this, for the last 2 years, really, beginning 2020, 2021? What can we be grateful? I mean, I know, I know very little about the celebrations that the Americans do. I know it goes back to the 16th century or something, but it's all about harvest, right? I mean, we have that in Austria as well. I'm sure we have that in the UK and then up in Ireland, where we all, celebrate the harvest. What have we achieved? What have we created? Where, how far did we come? And all that sort of stuff. So it's going to be along those lines, what are we celebrating? It's all about celebration. We won't have a turkey here, but who needs that? So we're just gonna, go into that celebration. Victories. What are our victories? And you got to help me out because I haven't really got any other plan than that. And then the other thing I really want to do as well is maybe do a little bit of a stock taking. This is a nice opportunity to do that with Earth Nouveau, how far we've come. We don't have to, talk about that so much, but where do we want to take it? Yeah. So how are we going to continue with that? What kind of subjects are you guys interested? What kind of contributions would you like to provide here? What would you like to see in all of that? Yeah, that's the idea. So, oh yeah, I'm illuminated here, so fantastic. So how has everyone been feeling? Arena, we haven't had you on. We had you on, but you didn't say anything.
I know. I couldn't talk those two several videos. It wasn't situation that I could be opening my microphone. As for me, I'm actually pretty good. And about gratitude, when you just started talking about gratitude, this knowing from inside that first gratitude, first thank you we need to give to us. Mm-hmm. Us, by us, to us. Just like many leaders of this world, I mean real leaders like Andrew, like you, Martina, like everyone here in our meeting, we recognize that even to be here, it was heroic. Heroic, and we had to have knowledge to be here in this time. Especially I'm talking about people around 2012 who were alive and conscious around 2012. You really did something very, very great in all that pyramid of your ancestors, your personal soul journey, all that thing, universal journey, everything. So first, thank you I would give by us to us. Just recognize I'm here, I'm alive, I'm breathing, living, yes, breathing, living ancestor, and I'm still making it. Life is good for me. Life is still going, still continue. So this is I would give first thank you. And thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
And that just really reminds me of, about gratitude. It's having a great attitude. Gratitude is just having a great positive attitude, right? But not from a place of, oh, everything is just love and light. No, but just from that place of, okay, let's just enjoy what we have. There's this element, that energy of simplicity, right? That energy of simplicity that keeps popping in for me. With especially over the last 2 years, what I'm grateful for is almost like Not that I needed it, but I could officially give myself that space that I required. That doing less. And every time we do less, we have to be more. There seems to be that balance. When you do less, sometimes you feel like you're becoming more. Because when you do less and you get out of distraction, it's not going to let you get away with not looking at being, right? Being happy with just being. Have you found that as well? I'm sure you have. And, we have been talking about this. Is there anything in particular that comes up with simplicity for you?
I would say yes, and that acknowledgement, I'm here and my life is going on, and be grateful for that, like you just said, yes. And at the same time, I'm capable to shift, to move, to plan my future with that, doing less, but being more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that will that is giving us more of experience with doing less, but it's still more of experience.
Yes, yes. And it's that old thing of, the more you become silent with the meditation, everything, you're allowing yourself to step into the true you, the true beingness. And you're starting to, obviously, we are all very interested in connecting, in divine connection, in multidimensional connection. And this is where, we remember, AB saying, the gift that keeps on giving. And it still keeps on giving, you know, despite the hoo-ha. The other
I
energy, yeah, go.
Sorry, I would say we already made it our signature frequency, being connected. For example, I can't imagine my life without being connected. I just can't. It's just not possible. It's not going that way anyway. In anything I am doing, anything 24/7, I'm still connected. It's kind of like my signature frequency. I believe it's for you true as well.
So this is an interesting one, because I've just started putting this new book together, From Challenge to Choice. And one of the paragraphs I observed myself writing was that I've never sought out spiritual enlightenment. I've never used spirituality. I've never even, I said that before, I've always looked at self-development. That was my thing. And to be honest, everything I've learned now is it hasn't necessarily changed for me. Because like you say, Arena, I think innately I've always felt guided, but in such a grounded way, interestingly enough, that I didn't even, I've never questioned that, you know? And that's quite interesting in a way, because we know that the spiritual seeking can sometimes be a pure distraction, leading us the wrong way. So I think that, we can safely say we have already from the very beginning had a certain level of awareness, and pretty much from the very beginning, um, let's call it purpose. We already, that was the purpose. It was just so um, dug under, hidden, because
It
of,
became, it became conscious for us. Like you look into world, look into humans, we all connected, we all on our path from moment of coming here, from moment of birth, but a lot of us still unconscious about that connection. But this is what you are saying, it's we are conscious about our connection, about our reason why we are here, who we are in general and on a bigger picture. Yeah.
we're remembering, isn't it? And this is the interesting thing. The more we remember, the more conscious we become, the less it, you know, life doesn't actually change. This is what I'm finding so intriguing. It's like I'm not doing anything particularly different in terms of what I'm creating. It's more that letting go
Attitude.
expectations, the gratitude, the great attitude to all of it, right?
Yeah.
It's almost like, I mean, there's one thing I have to say, I've never been a big fan of maintenance. Yeah. Do you know, coming from, when we come from a place of abuse, whichever abuse that is now, um, it's always easy to get out. And I do remember, even sitting in networking meetings or other meetings, always sitting right next to the door. Couldn't sit between five other people, right next to the door. So I was the first one out when I wanted. I needed that, get out. Could never be I remember going on a cruise once. Yeah, just a 2 hour, freaked me out because I couldn't get off. It was almost like, I need to get out, I need to get out, that kind of thing. Um, and that has of course changed now. I don't I don't perceive that resistance anymore, that rejection of being, because I can now come from a place of choosing, like we all can. Once we let go of the conditioning, we can actually start choosing it. Now, I'm not choosing it anymore, yeah, to be on a ship, like on a little cruise boat like this. I've been on a big cruise, which was amazing, yeah, but you didn't feel like you needed to get out because there was enough space on it. So this, I think this is the thing, and this is actually what, we can acknowledge today on this time, on this day of, or tomorrow, this time of gratitude and giving thanks to not so much the material stuff that we have accumulated through the levels of awareness, but the awareness itself, right? Just let's take a moment and be grateful for the level of awareness, right?
Yeah.
And we are the only ones know that. Yes, you know that, and because we're like-minded people, but look how many we are. Can you walk down the road, go to the bus, and just really enjoy being aware without having to shout it off rooftop, right? Or tell anyone? That I want to be grateful for, or I am grateful for more and more and more. And there's almost this element of, I've always been a rebel, and I can use it to find joy. I am aware of that. And it feels like a bit like a rebel, because I can see others not being that, and it's okay. It's joyful for me, you know?
I love that. It's so interesting, this like having the gratitude of just being able to walk through life. Like I'm dog sitting right now for a little white dog, and she's kind of a rebel herself, a little West Highland Terrier. And so I just got back from the park with my dog and this dog, and just walking and enjoying the sunshine and enjoying the air and the freshness and the way the light, the light hits the trees, and listening to the birds, and just being like in the middle of a city. Yeah, I can hear the freeway, I can hear the traffic, but I also see the nature, right? And I see people going to work and going about their day, and it's just really such a gift to have this level of awareness that I've cultivated for myself over the last well, my whole lifetime, really,
Yeah.
starting with being sensitive energetically as a child, and like, what does that mean, right? Not really thinking anything of it, because that's just who I was, right? And allowing me to lead myself, right? Where the energy was, where the light was, where the fun was, and joy, and so I'm really grateful for that, and the path that I've been able to choose for myself. I had a client the other day who was talking about family and the way she had made choices she thought her family wanted her to make. Right. And then she said, well, I'm, in a life that I didn't choose. And I said, well, you did actually make those choices. Maybe they weren't the choices you wanted to make, but you did choose. So I thought that's, an interesting perspective, because I don't think that, I'm sure I did at some point make choices that I thought other people wanted me to make. But at some point I said, I'm done with that. I'm choosing for myself.
You see, I love that.
It's not selfish choice. It's still, you are completely, totally included into this societal and universal life flow, and you are choosing for yourself. How it wonderful.
I have to say, from a personal perspective, it took me a long time. It took me much longer to get to that space to really choose for me and as me. But one thing I can say, whatever I have chosen, I've chosen crap. Yeah, lots of crap. I have never regretted anything. I have this capacity, always had that, and probably to the detriment of other people finding it really annoying that whatever happens, I'm immediately going for, okay, solution. What's going on? What is that? How did we, what can we learn from this and all of that? But really from a place of not analysis paralysis, from a place of true curiosity. Not curiosity learning, but from a place of, okay, cool, done this, wasn't the best choice, or wasn't the right thing, or why the hell did that happen? How can we get out of this? So it's quite interesting, days. And even if I think about it, I think back, is there anything that I would regret that I have done if I, no, can't think. Can't really think of anything that I so regret, that I would so regret that I would, no, because whatever I did it again, I did it again, I did something else, I tried a different way. I did that anyway. I never left any leaf unturned until I got to the place, and I still do until I get to a place where, okay, it's just become easier, much more ease, because I let go of all the crap, or most of it.
Let go of judgment.
Let go of judgment, yeah. And you know what? That's another thing. How often do we judge ourselves for judging? And the ones that actually judge themselves for judging don't really judge other than themselves. I'm not a judger, really. I haven't, if I think back, I haven't really judged, because you can't judge and be so intensely interested in what's going on. Or why is this person talking to me like this? What's going on? The mistake I have made is trying to understand why the person was doing things was doing. Because I think I was born a bloody therapist, I mean, I meant that, because that was what, the shit got piled onto me because I tried to understand. This is why this word understand, I had to reframe, I don't want to understand, because you're making by far too many excuses for other people just because of the level of your awareness. Yep. So gratitude for the level of awareness that we have, and thanksgiving to not allowing the level of awareness to exceed our level of allowance.
I think, it's just thinking about, as you're talking, I'm thinking about kind of like my journey to where I am now, right? This journey of awakening, right? Awakening to the higher frequency energy, and awakening as a healer, and a psychic and a medium, and looking at all of the things that kind of spark me, right? That curiosity and awareness, and like how like each step of the journey that I took was like a little bit of opening, right? And then it's like a dance almost with being feeling that push through to the next level of awareness, and the dance with ego, right? Because it's like sometimes you get to a certain place and you're like, oh, I know so much, I'm so enlightened. And then like the next day you get the smack down and you're like, oh shit, I don't know nothing. I don't know anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just, love that kind of like being able to be more aware now, right? And be able to like watch other people's journeys who are going through this awakening process and this ascension process where they're starting, dead asleep and really entangled in a lot of energy. And then all of a sudden it's like, wow, I can see out of this little like dark cocoon that I've been living in. And why didn't I see this before? Right. And I think we all kind of like go through stages of that, and that awareness of those steps and stages. I feel a lot of gratitude, just towards my own like level of awareness.
I just love that, because especially when we think the way we think, you just say, yeah, the way you think. One of those tools is looking at everything is the opposite, turn everything inside out. Because it's what we do is we go often into the judgment of ourselves, not recognizing what we already have done or what we are continuously doing. It's it's in the it's not even a judgment, but it's like a lack of acknowledgement, you know? That's always been coming through for me. And this is where, when I look at all the teachers that I worked with, when I looked at all the books that I read, all the modalities that the readings I had in the very beginning by people, it's like, what? This is normal. I know that. Why are you telling me this? I'm here. I've just paid you this now, and to tell me that stuff that I know. And it took me ages to realize, well, why do I know this? Oh, I know this. Oh, do you know what I mean? That really acknowledging. How often have we learned something or gone to teachers or listened to those recordings and like, yeah, okay, get on with it. Give me something I don't know, right? I've done this.
Right?
I've done this for a long time, and then it's like, okay, so what? And then what's? Oh, I'm supposed to come up with my own shit. Okay, interesting. And then I got thrown into, oh, well, where do I take new stuff from now? Yeah. There was this time where I thought, oh, I need to channel now because everyone's channeling in the beginning and I'm not channeling. Why am I not channeling? What's going on? Right. I can't come up with new stuff if I'm not channeling. I'm far beyond fucking channeling. I'm just having a conversation with myself. I just didn't know. I didn't take myself serious enough. And then, of course, the other thing is not everyone is here to not everyone is here to be an AB, yeah? Or a Cryon or whatever these people, who are all these channelers are. Everyone says the same thing, yeah, pretty much in their own words with their own signature frequency. And I thought, okay, I get it. I can actually use same words. I just bring it. The way we put it together, the way we alchemize it, right? I mean, it's like when I started writing those revocations. I was very aware of using some of Abby's words. I was like, oh, nope, can't do that. That's copywriting. Or axes, the way. No, it's not. No, no. You've paid for it, you've learned it, you've earned it, right? And it's not that you copyright, you just use the word salad to bring it together, to alchemize it in your own way. And that way, you would do that.
I mean, it's we really are the sum of all our parts, right? I mean, think about your experiences as a child and how that gives your life context now, right? I mean, I think of all like, the after, watching TV after school, all the reruns of different shows, right, that were on. And here in the United States, right, and where I lived in the Midwest, Wisconsin, and it was different, right? And my husband's older than I am, and he has a different contextual learning because those early TV shows that he saw were not what I saw, right? So even, phrases that come out and concepts and ideas, right? Those were like, I mean, of course, school, we all went to school of some sort. Those were our primary building blocks, and the experiences we had with our classmates and our siblings, and the playtime and fun joy time, right? Those created, I don't know, a structure, right, in our early lives, right? And sometimes trauma, and sometimes fears, and sometimes freedom,
Yeah.
thoughts of freedom.
And where does it stop? Using the example of copyright, and say, okay, well, I've just used a word that, a letter that I've learned in primary school. So thank you very much to my primary school teacher who taught me that letter, who taught me that word. Where does it stop? That kind of thing. And it's interesting. I have my partner hasn't done it for some time now, but then again, I haven't seen him for some time now. He used to watch movies over and over again and learn certain taglines, and when he got together with the right signature, they would talk like this, would use exactly. And I was like, wow, I don't understand that at all. Yeah. Using verbatim parts of the movies, and they thought it was hilarious. I didn't understand that at all. I'm thinking, why would anyone do that? Right? Where's the authenticity in that? Can't you come up with your own stuff? Really interesting. Didn't get that whatsoever. When I look back now, when I get him, I'm thinking, so cool. I couldn't even fucking remember it. I can't
This
remember time.
this is that remembering that we are not learning, we are remembering now, nothing to learn, everything on the table already. And the more we become to that I am consciousness, I am just having experience of this or this or this or this, the more you come to that copyright, it's like, yeah, it's for our human experience, but as a soul, what to copyright? What can you say, copyright or it's my authentic? It's the same. The
Exactly.
more you go, yes.
Exactly. Now, I know why I had a reaction, a trigger when he did that. Because think of that term, repetition leading to illumination. Yeah. Even though I would call him a rebel as well, he is much more structured than I am. And I was really, really fighting structure, Now, what am I doing now with my Kundalini? Same bloody thing, right? It's not words, but I'm doing the same exercise since 57 days now to teach myself, to allow myself to do that. And the benefits are great. It actually feels good. That leads me back to the simplicity and maintenance, maintenance.
Yep.
There is something with maintenance. What is it, this energy with maintenance? I've been really looking, I've hated it. I'd rather throw things away and get something new. Yeah. Even like I used to, Sell the house instead of fix it, get a new one. That kind of stuff. That new, not getting wanting to be bored. And now the maintenance is almost like that was also the reason why I never looked after my body. Yeah. So maintenance now has a different feeling. It has an energy of gratitude.
Yeah.
Grateful for my body, right?
If you recognize you are as a spirit, as a consciousness having journey, and you are creating those circumstances, those bubbles, those playgrounds to have particular experiences. So when we look at us as consciousness, we are the same. Everyone the same consciousness. This is that stable maintenance, yes, returning to that energy. I remember, this is who I am. And then we have those different experiences. This is where we are unique. But you see, we are in process of transition from old world to that brand new experiences that possible with this new energies on earth and in universe. So in our old style of experience, old world, how I call it, we already done everything.
So
We are already.
let me ask you, Arina, when we talk about the old world and the new world,
Yeah.
does it feel new to you? Or
Now?
yeah? Or does it,
Yes.
yeah? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I already recognize new possibilities that before it was more restricted, more tough to move through lines of creation. Now it's easier, much easier. And I really recognize that brand new possibilities today, that I can connect A and B, or I can connect A and W, and I will receive completely different outcome. That in my old world, and not just my, but old world, it was, you can't connect A and W. It's not allowed yet. It's only for some they can connect A and W. Today, I'm looking in all my alphabet and everything that is possible for me to recognize and to act on. And I can connect everything. There is no restrictions in me and in my world. I'm spreading that message out, but naturally. I don't do rebel thing. I'm just existing in that bubble, that today really everything possible. This is a brand new possibility, and it's just going out, and people asking, okay, what's happening, why you so happy, why everything, why you don't complain, why, and I'm just, yeah, this is what I do. So yeah, I really see difference between old style, when we were so restricted in the rules and directions, that today you can really start to connect differently. Everything, it's the same, but you connect it differently, you receive different outcome.
Gratitude.
It's really
for
much
great-
more of a non-linear way of living and being.
Yep.
I remember working, I used to sell video equipment, professional video equipment. And, back in the day, when I studied, film and video production in school, we were working with VHS tapes, right? And you had to take like a little clip from that tape and, put it to another tape, and you had the way you had to sequence things. And then the nonlinear editing systems came out, right? Like Final Cut and iMovie, right? Video Vision Studio was one of the first ones. And people were like, oh my gosh, I can just like take this clip and put it in a timeline, right? And I see that, as we move into this, I call it, new operating system for Earth, really, crystalline grid energy. I see that non-linear way of living, right? I can take this from here and take it directly from here, this A to W, living that Irina's talking about. So it's exciting. It's exciting. And to look around and see the people who have like an awareness of that, right? In the way that they're behaving, and then you can definitely see the people who don't have an awareness of that.
I hear this talk, and what comes up for me continuously, I can cognitively get the new. And from a non-cognitive perspective, I go the opposite. It almost feels much more familiar and right, not from a right and wrong place, much more the way it should be. You know, that's why I can't use the word new, because it almost feels like that's the way it is. It always was. Yeah, it always has been.
Yeah, agreed completely. And new, my vision, what is new, it's possible for us to recognize and go that direction now easily with no restrictions, almost no restrictions.
It's really good to look at it from that perspective, though, because sometimes it's like you can't get the enthusiasm up. Oh, everything is new, 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 and you feel like, really, that kind of stuff. But it is new. It is new, and yet it is ancient, right? It is ancient. We're going backwards, and
I
at
think
the
too,
same.
looking at that, like the ancient future, right? Looking at the processing, right, of old wounds and old traumas, right? Where you get to a certain point, you can say, oh, I've looked at, I've looked at this scenario, right, that created a childhood wound, for example, and then it comes back up again, right? 6 months later or a year later, and you're like, didn't I deal with that old chestnut already? Right. And then there's another layer of awareness that happens.
Hmm.
Right. And so then you process that other layer of awareness and then go on with your life. And then it comes up again. Right. And kind of like think of it almost like a weed with a very big tap root. Right. That you're digging up, and you miss, that deep root, and it grows back, comes back in some other way.
So would you say, I can hear what you're saying, and I'm thinking that would happen to me depending on different people that I meet. It's almost like when it's like certain people say something and it wouldn't go straight through me. And then somebody would say something and it's like, oh, interesting. What's going on here? Um, is that to do with clearing old soul contracts with these people? Yeah. So it's
Can
almost,
be.
I'm almost thinking, like how often um, is it because there are actually soul contracts that are coming up for resolution? And this is why it's important
Absolutely.
to get out, right?
And
Or
plus, I'm sorry.
go ahead, yeah.
And plus, clearing all contracts with old style of experience, your personal. We agreed to have that kind of experience, what Andrew calls limitation, mastery of limitations, duality experience. We're done with that. This is what I'm calling new. That possible today for us to remember. You don't have to be any much more involved in any limitations. You can start to make your way to your abundance as you allow for yourself today, like you, Martina, said, through those contracts, soul contracts recognition. When you meet some people and it's not limiting you, it's not stopping your expansion, it's not stopping your joy. You meet another people and it's making you or think about something or even stopping you. Yeah, so contracts with yourself, between yourself and old style of limitation experience, and contract between people with who you created those limitations. Yeah, yeah.
That's the potency of being in relationship, isn't it? And
Oh,
then
yeah.
and then taking that relationship beyond the human fellow kind, you know, taking it into nature, taking it into with animals, but with everything really, with a place. because that kind of trigger can happen by, I mean, I do remember when I first came to the UK, I had absolutely no intention to live here, to stay here. And I arrived and was like, okay, I'm staying put. And that was in 95, 23 years ago. It's like, whoa, what is going on? And I'm still not done, you know? But then again, London is a place where you can exchange soul codes quite a bit. Not me sitting on my couch, of course, but but if I think about it, I've got this lovely lady next to me. You can probably hear her TV. She's 96 now, I think, and she speaks 7 different languages, and she's Italian. And I've got a Cypriot couple living next to me, and all different. Emma, comes home with. She's got all different kinds of friends, different nationalities, and that turns me on. I love that. That's my thing. I love that. So there's a lot of that. And then of course it never gets boring in a place, in the places we live that we have chosen, because there's so much for us to explore and to activate, right? I think nowadays a gratitude to just acknowledging the awareness of us getting on a bus, getting our energy into certain places, spaces. Don't even have to talk to anyone.
I love that, because I think San Francisco is very similar in that way, right? Where there's
I can imagine
so many different people from all walks of life. You have the very poor to the homeless people to the very, very wealthy people, and people from all over the world here. And I always tell people, if you want the true San Francisco experience, ride the bus, because you're going to see so many different people just going about their lives.
melting pots.
Yeah.
Melting pots, multidimensional spaces for all of us to get together. And the other thing I love about, which is quite intriguing in a way, which is again, there's like, it's almost like an oxymoron. London for me has been, I feel, the most authentic here. It's very anonymous. People don't give a flying fuck what you wear, what you look like, all of that. Almost to the extent where you don't necessarily speak to your neighbors a lot. I don't really speak to them. I know they're there, but there's no like getting together and all of it. No, it's very anonymous, which has obviously, I think, in the beginning when you're Marta and all of that, it really, really helped me to step back, being in that allowance of stepping back. But I'm loving it, absolutely loving it. That space, despite the multicultural and multi-dynamic energies that are here. Or maybe
Do you
that's
feel like
sovereignty. Hey, let's acknowledge that.
Do you feel like you got closer to your neighbors during the lockdown?
No. But I'm not seeking it out. I used to have a much closer relationship with them, but this is other stuff been happening, so no, not really.
And you, Tanya? How
Yeah,
do you
I mean, I think we got a lot closer to our neighborhood, to our block. Right? We think on the block we started doing a Friday happy hour.
Oh, nice.
So,
Okay.
just like hanging out in front, letting the dogs, play, and
Oh, it's a big
creating
deal.
that sense of community, which, like you were saying, right, you can be really anonymous and you don't really talk to the people. Creating that little kind of like bubble of community just within 10 houses around us. Yeah.
And having pet actually helping to do that. Having pet, you still continue your normal style of life, going out even with all these restrictions and all this craziness that are going on. So it's making you guys coming together closer. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. In my case, it's very interesting because almost a year ago, I made my move from that richness of experience closer to nature. Even I was in nature. I lived for almost 10 years in Sedona, Arizona. So, and energy were very interesting unfolding during those 10 years. And then I realized it's too much because people start to discover with all this advertisement that place and come, and they would bring their vision, their energy, and that those vortexes in Sedona would just allow for different type of energy to blossom, just working with that energy. So energy became very, very busy in Sedona. And I decided I need to go somewhere where I'm closer to silence. And I moved 15 minutes away from Sedona, higher in elevation. And now I'm living now among huge pine trees. So like guardians, like those, representations of silence, representations of eternity around me. And I have my possibility each morning go and say hi to my crows, to my trees, to all that thing. So I'm kind like we're resting almost a year already, still doing my thing, but in energy of more silence, more recognizing that I'm resting. And I got to a place now, it's so interesting. I'm not allowing myself, it's so comfortable, it's so enjoyable and comfortable. I'm not allowing myself activation, but situation in my life kind of like pushing me very lovingly, but pushing me, like showing me you can expand a little more, you can activate now that flow of exchange with world a little bit more. And I'm looking at that. It's not making myself like putting me in front of choice, yes or no. It's not. But at the same time, it's kind like shaking those old contracts, yes, soul contracts that I'm now kind like looking at. And this is exciting, very exciting, because it's not in position that I have to, but in that position, I can choose, I can go my way like it was before, or expand my interaction with these possibilities. So it's a very interesting, and it's ancient, like you said, guys. Yep.
I'm very familiar with that. I feel very familiar with what you're saying. That's very much my journey at the moment as well. And I always look at that. I'm thinking, okay, so what is that all about? And then for me, it's well, that is true choice. Just because you can do other stuff, doesn't mean that you have to do it. And I think, I mean, speaking for myself, I was brought up in that way. If you can do this, then you have to do it, right? Why would you not? And I had to learn the hard way. Well, actually, no. Just because I can do many things. Yeah. That doesn't mean that. First of all, that means you have to acknowledge that you're actually capable of many things, and you can start with little things like cooking. I mean, I cooked all my life. I'm a fantastic cook, cooked for hundreds of people. Not doing it anymore. Just don't want to. Not interested anymore. That kind of stuff. So I love that, because that's really the exploration of choice. And I personally have come to the realization there is many things I have enjoyed at the time, truly enjoyed at the time, because there's not really much I haven't enjoyed, no matter how harsh it was. I I'm getting to know myself in a completely different way. Like you say, Irina, um, no, I just want to be on the couch. I just want to write. I just want to draw. I just want to do what I do. I stopped my yoga business now. I only have one class a week on Skype, and it's just with two ladies because they know what they're doing. I don't want to teach that anymore. I do it for myself. Because everything I've ever done was learn something and then teach it, be of service with it, which which was great because I always made the money and I covered, the costs with all of that. But I've never really applied it to myself. Well, I have applied it to myself, but it's a different way of doing things now.
I totally see what you are saying, totally feel it, because I'm doing the same shift. I'm
Mm,
doing the same. I'm sharing now and I'm enjoying first, and then I'm sharing with world, whoever comes as a world to me.
mm,
Yeah. And we are invoking together that co-creation that we all actually like craving inside of us, returning to not teaching, not learning, but co-create with other people, with world. When you don't think about right or wrong, you just moving through your excitement with your excitement.
exactly. It's like Nicholas is, I live smack bang in concrete jungle city. See the beauty and experience it brings daily. Too many lifetimes spent in the mountains. Absolutely. Absolutely. And this is the thing. We have an awareness of a long-term agenda. Yeah. So often you speak to people, it's like, well, no, yeah, why don't you do that? And why don't you can do this? Yeah, I know. But this is short-term agenda now. I've already proven to myself that I can do this. I don't have to prove it anymore. And I'm becoming a completely different person. And it's like, do I like myself? I sometimes surprise myself. It's like, oh, interesting. Do I like being who I am? Yeah, I do.
This is this is what I call we done with old style of experience. We done with old world. We are in brand new, and this is how we starting to explore. And this is brand new. That all is possible. Really, all is possible now. You just go with where you are now, and you can open as much as you can. You can close sometimes. You can shift. You can make your turn right, left, whatever. This is what is available now. And it's so possible because Mother Earth and universe that already that playground for us. And like we already mentioned, it's only our soul contracts, yeah, that is still may not resolve completely and holding our energy involvement into old world, old style. And this is what we are doing now in transitioning.
And also, it's a matter of what's the purpose of being here, right? I have to remind myself when I go through those stages at times that working with humans is something that I've done. I've really done a lot of that. I've explored lots of avenues. I enjoyed it. Been of service. I helped myself. There is a multi-species collaboration out there that we are forerunners for, right? So if we keep on hanging out with our mates continuously, we are not allowing ourselves to go into that kind of collaboration, right?
This is so great you are mentioning that. This is what Tanya, you said, it's multidimensional, no linear time experience already. And this is what is available for us even greater now. It's just so beautiful. Yep.
And frankly, that's my interest. I didn't know that before. I did. I mean, I've known it for a couple of years now, but in the beginning, I thought I have to do, first I had to make money, then I had to obviously, become the therapist, be of service. Now it's almost like being of service, like, yes, you always be of service, but the audience is changing, right? Now I can choose the audience I want to actually spend time with, which is you guys. Yeah. I'm becoming very much like now. It's like, no, I'm not gonna. And that's not hierarchy, that's not competition, that's not being snobbish, that's not being superior. That's just knowing what I'm
Well, I
here.
have to say, that's one of the things I'm really grateful for is Earth Nouveau Hub. So thank you.
No, thank you guys, girls, ladies,
And
angels.
we can put that vibration around us, that I'm spending time with people who I'm enjoying to spend time. And you know, those people will find you and ask you for sharing. And this is that creation of abundance on all levels. You enjoying doing this on level of physicality, you receive that equal exchange. On level of being consciousness, you already dancing that dance. We are all together, we are all one. So it can be like served on all levels of who we are, of our existence. And even sitting on a couch in your house, you can activate that energy and people will find you. Of course, you need to use a little this our technology that we created and put around, like some spreading the world. But even that business on 5D level, when you're doing business with energy and that energy activating and people finding you, this is amazing thing that is happening right now. Amazing thing. Somehow they still see you, even you sitting on the couch.
Hmm. What's the emanation of that light, right? That frequency, that vibration,
Yep.
that you know, harmony, light, and all of that, you know. Um, yeah, there's a lot of gratitude for that, and it's sometimes not even so easy to put it in words, right? So, and we don't even have to. Just be grateful for your awareness. Keep it that way.
And you know, I want to say thank you and being grateful to those people who want to go into this world and be active
Oh,
and make those connections, make that experience going, boiling that water of our 3D experience. It's not 3D already, it's already much more dimensional experience, but I'm grateful to those people as well. For example, like AB, yes, he is going, he is resting now, of course, but he was going how long into this world and activating those people and bringing that new possibility of seeing, of remembering into this world. And even people with pure 3D activities, they
uh,
still making some fun for us to observe if you don't want to create that, but you still have that picture moving around you. So I'm grateful to that as well.
absolutely, absolutely love that. And yes, because you know they're helping us to ground in this reality too, right? I mean, I can only speak for my partner. I mean, the work he does has nothing to do with what I do, but the benefits and the contribution is huge. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And again, it took me some time to acknowledge that, you know, to actually really acknowledge what kind of soul contracts we can have. It doesn't mean that, you know, I've just written this in my book, another line, you know, you can be in a relationship, you know, with soul contracts where, you know, you're not supposed to be waking up at the same time. You're just really holding space for each other, you know?
yeah. Agreed with that.
Yeah.
And when I work with people, I don't spread this kind, like you need to change completely now, become only spiritual person. No, continue doing what you do, but now from that expanded state of you, choosing completely different things in doing the same,
Yeah.
choosing differently, even from different um, what's the word, from different belief, doing, continuing the same things that you did before, but putting it completely different reasoning for that. It's already changing our environment. It's already shifting our environment. We still need some physicality in our experience as it is, as it was. We need that turn into something maybe different with our experience going. But for now, we can start, and we have to start where we are now. We can't say that we have it's not working anymore. No, it's still working. And little by little, with that opening different reason and putting different reason for my choices in physical life, in any kind of life experience, this what will bring that soft change with happiness, not breaking with some tragedy or drama or pain or whatever.
Well, absolutely. And also that requires the understanding of embodied spirituality. Nobody says get out of the body. It's the opposite.
Yep.
It's the opposite. You can be extremely abundant. You can make shitloads of money and being the most spiritual person out there. Yeah. That's the whole point, to be in embodiment where you, as you say, even if you have pain. I never understood that. I often, when I looked at certain people that died and they were spiritual teachers, and I'm thinking, what? How come? You shouldn't have this kind of pain, right? In my early days. Of course, that got nothing to do with that, you know? It's a completely different way of looking at things. Whatever you're choosing, whatever your contracts are, whatever your learning is, doesn't matter how bloody spiritual you are or consider yourself to be, you're still going through these teachings. The question is, how can you be how are you dealing with it, right?
How you can stay in your excitement, in your happiness, and still going through this world that is, you look into this world today and it's like, oh my God, I'm better sitting on my couch. But you're still going with this world experience. And again, the more we are capable to preserve that excitement, preserve that happiness in our choices, the quicker and more joyfully we will make a shift for entire world, not doing directly any changes with some kind of revolution.
Absolutely. And a look back again, because I'm just writing this all at the moment, is like, it was pain, it was physical pain that led my path, that led me through serious investigation, what was going on, you know. I had to stop denying what was going on. So it was, see, and so often you hear about this amazing teachers out there, and they have this huge breakdowns and then come through with new teachings, right? It's all part of the game. It's all part of what we do. Not everyone chooses that way, but it's all part. There is no right or wrong in any of that, you know, because there is no right or wrong. And they might have had the most amazing, life, I don't know, last lifetime, right? So they've come in to experience that and to teach that. It's not just to experience it, actually to teach it, because it's all free will choices, right? It's like all the autistic children coming in. Well, they've chosen that too, because they are amazing teachers, you know. There's always something. So it's really worthwhile going into the unseen, into the silence, and starting to look for awareness, not for answers, but asking questions and looking for heightened levels of awareness.
And with that awareness, just recognize that pain, it's a choice. Pain, it's a choice. Tragedy, it's a choice. And see what is on very deep, I would say, like societal level of our agreement, yes, for that limitation experience, what is still holding us in that choice become a part of our experience today. But working on this question, I looked into death. And it's still going on. I'm still accumulating some information to make some change of my perception in relation to death. But I figure out that death, as we know it today, is not natural.
No.
Completely is not natural. Completely. It's all because of our soul contracts. to be painful, to be sudden, to be not in environment that you would want, not the way that you would want. So I found out, like, I created a list of those not natural causes, yeah, or not even causes, but not natural types of death. And it's all from old our vision of limitations. Today we really can make that transition, not harmful, not
Scary.
create. Say again.
Not scary, not fearful.
Exactly. Make it the same celebration of experience, celebration of transition, like a birth.
Yeah, exactly. Like it used to be. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of work that still needs to be done on that.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Well, I
And
mean, I think too, just like thinking about people in the way they view their own health, right, as something outside of themselves, right, and looking for that quick fix or magic pill or someone to tell them, someone to fix them,
Mhm.
right, and I see this so a lot with, and I've seen it with myself previously as well, right? But I know that I'm my own healer. And if I'm not going to do it, nobody's going to do it for me.
and when you heal yourself in that process, you're just changing your style, and it's not bringing you back anything that you already healed. This is what I'm saying we are doing now. We are changing our vision, our vibrational presence in this experience for good. Really, we are
Our,
stepping out. We already. Say again.
our perspective.
Yep. So maybe it would be interesting to bring this topic of a not natural style of death as transition to different experience, and just to look into that thing, like discuss in a group and create some kind of resolution, kind of revocation for that, just on level of our conscious awareness, to say to universe, we are done, and we are offering it to humanity as vibrations, spreading that humanity, that vibrations, that remembering into world
Yes.
as a healing for world,
Yes.
for
Absolutely.
our remembering. Yep.
Do
Yep.
that. We'll do that, Arena.
Yeah.
We'll do
Yeah.
that. Just discuss, redefine death like we
Yes.
redefine everything else. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So Caitlin says also, when you change, the world changes in response to you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, um, when you change one person, when you assist, when you contribute to that just one person in the world, you're changing the world, you know? To all the healers out there, to all the therapists out there who haven't got really, masses of clients at the moment, doesn't matter. Think of that one person that you've changed, that you've assisted. You you don't even know what purpose they had, right? How many people they will go out there and help, or whatever their mission is, whatever their purpose is. This is everything so intricately in connected. It's just beautiful. Gratitude, Thanksgiving, turkey or not. Yeah.
Talking about working with, as a healer, working with clients and students, right? And then looking at what they go on to do, right? And how just by, learning from me, where, my energy is like the pebble in the pond, right? Then they become more empowered, right? It's as holding space and being non-judgmental and just being able to do their thing. And I just am so grateful to see all of the people who I've worked with who are just shining, just like flying and, creating community and healing and all these different kind of like, I don't know, new conceptual ways of thinking and being and living. It's just so exciting.
It is. You've touched them with your fairy dust, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes now, those you've passed by, you've never ever even spoken to, and still you've made a difference to them. You haven't even added those to the basket, basket
Right.
to the to the group, right? Just by you being on the bus, right? In San Francisco. Your energy, just because this is the thing as well for that kind of purpose, which I'm almost wanted to say we're all, part of, opening portals. You don't have to go to the Olymp like I did at the time. You continuously doing that, closing portals. There is so much, and this is what I'm really interested in for my next evolution, to what is it that I do on the unseen that I have not acknowledged yet.
Very good topic for some of our meetings. Very good topic. Just for everyone maybe to share how we are doing that multidimensional connection now, how we bring that unknown into our known, and maybe even some pieces we still can't explain, but this is something happening there. It can help us listening to that sharing to understand what really happening with us.
Yeah.
With our dream time, with our daytime, working with people. That can be a very nice topic. And another topic can be, we all come into this meeting already from, like Tanya just shared, and you, Martina, as well, from working with another people. Yes, we all have our style, whatever we are doing, workshops or just healing sessions. It would be a very interesting thing as well, I believe, if everyone will give kind like a presentation of how they interact with this today, brand new opportunities, these possibilities, all that. What are their style, what they are doing, like the representation of that new possibilities. Like what his name?
Yes,
Sean Beebe?
Alfredo.
Alfred.
Alfredo already started doing that. It was great. It was wonderful. And then his stakes on display, it was just unbelievable, just unbelievable.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now
Did that
that
make you hungry?
I know. But you see, this invitation goes out every time we do a Zoom. That is part of what we are here for as the hub.
Mm.
I can't make people do that. They have to fix it. Yeah, and Tanya came forward. She's already done her, lovely chakra. Alfredo, we've had Caroline did something. Andrea did her food. That's the opportunity to play, to practice, and to share, and to inspire each other.
Oh.
So, Irina, anytime, whenever you're ready.
Okay, maybe next Wednesday I can do a little representation, presentation of my involvement in this today new energies, what I'm doing.
Okay, well, you're on. You're booked.
Okay, so next Wednesday. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
I didn't know that it just like
No.
people coming. Okay, very good. Very good. Thank you.
It's just coming.
Will do.
I mean, this is exactly it. I looked at it. We've done so many, and every week I have to think of something, So
Okay.
no, this is the platform. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, look, we don't have that many viewers, but I think there's quite a few people who watch the replays, and it doesn't really fucking matter, right? How many?
Universe is listening. Universe is listening. This is what we are doing. We are putting that energy into universe. We are already exploring these brand new possibilities. It's already going. Yep.
Okay, well, that's fantastic. Good, yeah. We chat closer to next week then, so that I can just send out irrelevant note. Fantastic, good. So talking about gratitude, talking about non-judgment, talking about Thanksgiving. Um, is there anything that somebody could say about you that would really, really trigger a reaction, a judgment?
Not now, not at this point of my life.
Good. Now have gratitude for that too, because that just shows you how far you've got. Yeah. Because it's, I can also, I don't really care what people say about me. I used to many, many years ago. So that's a good one. I'd always like taking it the other way around.
And it's not, like that cold, not caring for that energy that is still in some kind of, turmoil for some people. It is that, again, appreciation that uh, uh, those people still in their remembering process, and some point where they will be able to leave that judgment, leave that style as a something from past, that appreciation as well. It's not just called denial, it's not called I'm not in that. No, it's our awareness that this is still happening around us. That's why we are in that Chinese proverbial interesting time. Yes, let you be born in interesting time. We are in interesting time now. It's not easy, but at the same time we already made it. It's not hurting us. It's already with our joy in synchronicity with our joy of remembering, recognition, being conscious, being aware.
Yeah, it's, as you say, it's a level of consciousness where and I would be looking at it, yeah, if it's like, oh, interesting point of view, and if it's, I would be looking at it probably, if it's not completely, idiotic. But you also, what people don't get is they're giving away their own limitations. The more they judge, I mean, I haven't really been judged a lot, to be honest, but when people judge others, they get, it's an open book. It's like, oops, you might want to stop talking now because you're giving away all your limitations. Shut up.
They're activating their limitations again and again, doing that. And this is what I'm grateful that we can, not to what's the word, not to support that activation of limitations. We can see those people differently, with different eyes. They even can't do yet that thing, but we can. I'm very grateful to that as well.
Being in allowance, being the space for them, because that actually creates, that assists them. If we go into denial, if we go into, argumentation or definition or trying to convince them otherwise, that was something I used to do, yeah, because of the level of awareness, because I thought that was actually kind. No, first of all, it's not kind. And secondly, you are dragging yourself down with that, because it will backfire. Yeah, when people don't want to know. That's why, they don't ask a question, there's no facilitation. This is why I became a facilitator and still am. It's not about me knowing shit. Yeah, that's why I had to no ego, or very little of it, or not using it for that kind of work. It's like, no, you know everything yourself. I'm just going to be the catalyst, the transformer, by being the space, by asking the right question. And yes, I often ask the right question. That's good, and people don't want to hear that either. But that's okay. That makes me happy. That makes me like that would not be a judgment. That would be exactly, thank you very much. Because I know I just asked the right bloody question here for you to go out the roof, right?
Yep.
That's
And at the same time, seeing them with different eyes, seeing in them already consciousness, having experience of sleeping or forgetting or whatever you call it, and not taking on you that state.
yes, yes,
They are still in. Yeah, very grateful.
absolutely.
I remember that old saying, like when you point a finger at someone, there's four pointing back at you.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. Kind of, yes. Yeah,
And I always love the saying, you can lead that horse to water, but you can't make them drink.
exactly.
People are ready for the information that they're ready for and
Yeah.
can't control, what other people think and feel. So you might as well stop worrying about it.
I think that's part of the reason why, I start mixing now with well-watered horses, and they're all in good shape, and we can just get on it and go right out there and have some fun, right?
Sounds great.
If you're
Sounds great.
thirsty, go get yourself, some water. You know where to find it. We'll wait for you, or maybe not, depends, and we'll take it from there, right?
At some point, they will join us anyway, at some point.
Exactly.
Anyway. And
That's just
this
it
is,
said early on. There's no
yeah,
hierarchy, any of that, no competition. There's just pure awareness that whenever we are ready, whenever anyone is ready, and the recognition and acknowledgement that anyone who's here on this planet right now bloody deserves being here. Yeah. Huge potential in every single one, no matter what they choose. And for us, it's to acknowledge that even if we can smell, we can taste, we can see the potential, it doesn't mean that they're going to choose it. So back off.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's the one.
But at the same time,
Go.
we can look in those contracts, in those soul contracts on very deep level, because we already see it, we already understand it, and we can make that new decision, new vibration connecting to those contracts. And this is start to go, expand and help those people to make their transition and awakening quicker without us pushing on them.
Well, that's exactly it. That's being in allowance. And again, that leads us back to gratitude, what we're talking about today, the thanksgiving, the gratitude being the antidote of judgment, of conclusions. So really, there is not one single person out there where you can't find something that we can be grateful for, or we can find beauty or whatever, something positive, no matter how messed up they are. We'll always be able to find something like that. And to be honest, they wouldn't be around us. Yeah, I mean, it is a signature frequency match to a certain extent. And I'm not talking about the mirror principle. Yes, we've gone beyond that. Yes, we will be attracting people, that not necessarily just show us parts of us, we've gone beyond all of that. I appreciate all of that. And yet, there is the separation of density out there. We can sort of trust and should trust in. Um, Our gratitude baskets are overflowing. Next week sounds great, Irina.
Yeah,
Nicholas.
yeah. Will do. And in addition to what you just said, Martina,
Yeah.
I all the time remember it's not about them. It's still about you. It's still about me. It's still about me. And I'm grateful. I'm capable to see. I'm capable to stop. I can capable to choose going. And I grateful again. I'm returning to my today here, who I am today here, and all that effort I made, I went through, and still continue with my joy today. Yeah,
Absolutely.
and I believe it's about everyone.
Absolutely. There's one more thing I want to mention, which I made a quick note here because I was looking at gratitude and the energies at the moment. I'm feeling extremely what's the word, active at the moment. It's like And I have no idea where the time goes. I get up, I sit down, I write. All of a sudden, 3 hours are gone, 4 hours are gone. I eat a small thing, and it's already dark again. Emma, my daughter, she's having so many interviews at the moment. So much is coming in, so many choices. I never had choices for jobs. I remember there was one job I took and that was it. There's like 3, 4 choices, and they all want it. And like, what is going on? And then there is this level of overthinking. Yeah. When we get so active, when the energies are so fast at the moment. You find that? Gratitude for not overthinking. No.
Yeah.
Again, gratitude. When you find yourself overthinking, over analysis paralysis, no, back off. Ground yourself. You're just not grounded. I see that with him. Just not grounded. Yeah. And follow the lightness, follow the energy of lightness. We were talking about this earlier on. It's like when we have, we're coming into this era of choice, which I didn't grow up in that era, at least not consciously. And now all of a sudden there's so many choices. Yes, we can go out. I can go for work. I can't see. Don't overthink it. Follow the energy. What feels right? Light in the moment right now, without thinking, oh, my body should be walking, my body should. No, trust yourself at the moment. That's what I have to remind myself, because when I go into this state of writing, I go into this bit of an OCD. Okay, there's nothing else, everything disappears, and I'm just doing that. All of a sudden the day is gone. I'm like, I can't do this, I should be eating no, just do what you do until you stop doing it, right? Because I think we have demonstrated to ourselves often enough now how dynamic we are. And if the energy flows, go with it. There will be a time where then everything else you can do. That's just what I've been looking at a little bit, especially with Ems being overthinking this. Follow the lightness. It feels light, it's usually the right thing for you, even if cognitively it doesn't make any sense.
Stay with your highest excitement.
Yeah. Stay with your highest
joy.
Yeah. Trust your heart, all that. Yeah. Good, ladies.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for coming on. And now you can go and prepare your turkeys or whatever you do.
I'm not hosting tomorrow, thankfully. I'm grateful for not hosting Thanksgiving Day.
Oh,
I
thank
can
you.
just make some nice treats.
Fabulous. Okay, well, have a good one. Have a good holiday.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
enjoy the energies, follow the lightness, gratitude, Thanksgiving. And we got something to look forward to next week. Irina.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
I will be very happy to do it.
Yeah.
Wonderful talk. Thank you very much.
Bye. Ciao.
Thanks,